The European Parliament again plays its destructive role in Armenia-Azerbaijan normalization process. Today, on October 24, 2024, the European Parliament has adopted a resolution against Azerbaijan. It's called to protect human rights or to protect those who are under pressure in Azerbaijan. And the resolution authors claim that Azerbaijan has more than 300 political prisoners. And the names of some of them are just mentioned in the document, but not all 300 of them. By the way, if they could publish the names of all so-called political prisoners, we could name by name just clarify who they are. Now, the document is accusing Azerbaijan for creating obstacles to the normalization with Armenia. And what is strange and interesting, the authors are accusing Azerbaijan for occupying the territory of Armenia. They claim that 170 square kilometers of Armenia's lands are occupied by Azerbaijan. Let's recall the statements made by Armenian officials. Armenia's Prime Minister, Armenia's Foreign Minister, Armenia's Parliament Chairman repeatedly announced that Azerbaijan has not occupied any Armenia's territory. But the parliament members of the European Parliament are claiming that Azerbaijan is occupying Armenia's lands. Plus, this happens when the Prime Minister of Armenia and the President of Azerbaijan are coming together discussing bilateral relations and found common solution. This happened as well today in Kazan, Tatarstan. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenia's Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan discussed the issues, burning issues between two countries, and they reached a very clever, very understandable, very acceptable decision to continue normalization process to reach peace agreement between two countries. This means that the countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan, are very close to peace agreement, but the European Parliament is accusing Azerbaijan for not having the will to sign a peace deal with Armenia. Armenia itself doesn't accuse Azerbaijan for this. Armenia is ready for peace. Azerbaijan is ready for peace, and both countries, both leaders are negotiating the issues between two countries. But the European Parliament is not happy. Why? What is the reason? By the way, who are those political prisoners? I know many of them are those who were just trained in Iran, sent to Azerbaijan to overthrow the government and to install some kind of Iranian-style regime in Azerbaijan. And these people are mostly terrorists, anarchists, and they are against the statehood of Azerbaijan. Even they don't consider Azerbaijan as an independent state. They see it as part of Iran. And Azerbaijan, in order to prevent them from overthrowing the government, has put them into prison in line with laws, and they cannot be considered as political prisoners. So, the European Parliament is acting like dirty black propaganda tool to accuse Azerbaijan on the eve of COP29 to be held on November 11, 2022 in Baku. Unfortunately, the European Union, its parliament, instead of helping the sides, I mean Armenia and Azerbaijan, to find common solution, are creating artificial obstacles to prevent both nations from being achieved a peace between two countries. Unfortunately, we repeatedly said that if no third parties, Armenia and Azerbaijan can find a solution to all problems between two countries and two nations. By the way, European Parliament is accusing Azerbaijan for destroying Armenian heritage in Karabakh. They call it Nagorno-Karabakh. This is very strange. This is a hypocrisy, you know, because around about 30 years, Armenia had kept under occupation Azerbaijani lands, and everything was destroyed totally in those lands. The European Parliament never called to support, to preserve Azerbaijani cultural heritage on those lands. The European Parliament never called on Armenia to leave occupied Azerbaijani lands. But today, the European Parliament is calling on Azerbaijan to leave Karabakh, its land. They accuse Azerbaijan of attacking Karabakh, its lands, its own lands. Karabakh is part of Azerbaijan, and it's internationally recognized, and people in the European Parliament know about this. But they are accusing of Azerbaijan for having attacked Karabakh, even for occupying Karabakh. And they are talking about prisoners of war. They claim that Azerbaijan has prisoners of war. They say, they are stating in a document that Azerbaijan is keeping prisoners of war of Armenian origin. Do they have a list of those so-called prisoners of war? Not of course, because Azerbaijan has no single prisoner of war. After the end of military actions between two countries, Azerbaijan sent back all Armenian prisoners of war. No single Armenian prisoner of war is kept in Azerbaijan. Yes, we have some Armenian people under investigation in Baku. They are separatists, terrorists, and the European Union supporting those people shows that it is supporting terrorism and separatism. You can't accuse Azerbaijan. You have to call on Armenia and its supporters to pay compensation to Azerbaijan for destroying its lands. but you are doing something else. This is your hypocrisy. And you are pushing back Azerbaijan to the Russia, to the USSR. Azerbaijan wanted to integrate to the Europe, to the West, but people like you are pushing back it. And we will find how to defend our rights, our interests. No one can dictate anything to Azerbaijan. And we will find common solution with Armenia. As I mentioned a bit earlier, Azerbaijani president and Armenia's prime minister had come together in Kazan, Tatarstan, and they reached a very useful agreement between two leaders. And we are very close to peace agreement. But the European Parliament is very disturbed.